Don't even know, you can see me right now because the sun is directly behind my head. Oh, that's lovely, look. So welcome back to Walk and Talk. Today I thought I'd have a little chat about social media, kind of the expectations of social media and kind of things like that. What kind of sparked this idea was seeing Rachel Riley on the news last night talking about trolls online and, you know, that kind of like online bullying. Yeah, I just thought it would be something interesting to talk about. It kind of made me think about the fact that I am so glad I didn't grow up with this kind of social media. I can't imagine how any teenager grows up with this. MySpace came out when I was in high school. Facebook kind of came out when I was at uni. Actually, I think it was probably college. What year did Facebook come out? Because I mean, I was at college, but it would have been 2005, 2006. Because 2007 was my first year of uni, because I was 16 in 2005, so I think that's probably around about the time that Facebook did come out. And Facebook, well, it's still going, but I think originally Facebook was supposed to be more of a social media for universities. At first you didn't just have any old Tom, Dick or Harry on Facebook, it was specifically for students, and then it kind of got bigger from there. But yeah, it's quite weird to see how much the social media has grown, and when you see kind of what's not there anymore and what is there now. I mean, anybody remember Bebo? If you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I deleted my Twitter account a few months ago, and that's after being on Twitter for a very, very long time, going through so many different handles. And then I realised that Twitter was affecting me in a way that I didn't realise, and it was, I'm not going to say it was making me depressed, because I don't think that's the right word to use. It was just making me feel like the world was falling apart. It's kind of like watching the news. If you watch the news too much, there were so many things coming up on my timeline that were basically trying to tell me that the world was fucked, basically, and that, you know, all the politicians only have power in mind, they're not caring about the people anymore. I wasn't seeing any good news on my Twitter account. It was just bad news followed by bad news, and it was really depressing. I'll say that. I kind of flipped out a little bit. I had a bit of a breakdown over some of the things that I was seeing on my timeline, and that probably sounds really bizarre. I had a day where I was just chatting to my mum. Brexit's obviously a hot topic in the UK, and it still is, and it still will be until, you know, our parliament actually gets it together, which I think everybody is just fed up with now. The day that I did have my breakdown about everything, I was talking to my mum, and my mum was looking at me and saying, "Are you okay?" And I was like, well, not really. At first I was like, I'm alright. But then as my mum was talking to me, I could just feel myself welling up. And then I had this huge outburst of just everything that was on my mind. And I was crying, and I was having a major freak out. And my mum was just like, where has this all come from? And it was just like, well, when you see all these things online, and when you've seen these things all over your timeline, and she was like, hang on. You're talking about stuff you're seeing on Twitter. You're having a major freak out of things you see on social media, which, to be honest, you don't even know if it's all true. Things get made up and lies get spread very quickly. I mean, in the words of Donald Trump, it's all fake news at this point. And kind of that was my eye-opening moment of realising that Twitter, believe it or not, was actually messing with my mental health. That seems like a good place to stop, because I've just made it to the gym. So we'll carry on this conversation after my workout. Because these days I think of social media as being for networking. And you know, I see it from a business point of view, mainly because, you know, that is ultimately what I want it to be. I mean, Facebook is the only thing I have which is family. I mean, there are points when there are times when I've thought about deleting my Facebook account, but when I think of the reason why I'm on it, I'm on Facebook because it unites me with family on the other side of the world. I've got family in Barbados who I can talk to at the click of a button on Facebook, and it makes it so much easier to keep in touch with people. That's why I like it. And yeah, occasionally on Facebook you do see little things with like news things popping up, but on Facebook I find it easier to control. It probably has to do with the fact that I'm not on Facebook very often. If anything, the social media that I use the most is probably Instagram. I post pictures of like my fitness journey on there. I do some little like outfit of the day, so it's a bit fashion inspired as well. When I look at the majority of the people I'm following on Instagram, they're probably actors. And I think theatre actors mainly as well. For me, my Instagram, as well as kind of sharing my fitness journey pictures and having a bit of the fashion stuff on there as well, which I'm starting to tie into my YouTube a little bit more, so I guess so I can get my Insta and my YouTube to kind of work together. Yeah, it's just weird to think of the way different people think of social media. And I will say, if you're a kind of person who uses social media to say things to people that you would never actually say to the person, you're kind of a horrible person, because I would never put something on social media that I wouldn't say to somebody's face. So if you're using social media to gang up on people and to bully people and make fun of people, that's not nice. I mean, yeah, we say to people you don't have to look at it, you can just turn it off or you can block it, but you're still the one who is purposely sending messages to somebody with the aim of bullying them, in a sense. There are so many good things about social media that we need to remember about. I think when it comes to certain social medias, instead of like retweeting or calling out the bad behaviour, is it worth just ignoring it? Because by sharing the bad behaviour, you're promoting it, and you're giving the person who is acting atrociously a platform. By sharing it and acknowledging it, you're giving them that platform. So take the platform away from them. Ignore it, block it, because then they'll realise this is kind of pointless because nobody knows what I'm doing. I mean, it's probably more complicated than that, but that's me talking about it in its simplistic terms. I'm at the stairs, but I can't be bothered to run up and say. Hello? Yeah. Obviously just wanted to say hi. And that's how I react to dogs. It's quite a big dog as well, actually, so I did well to kind of keep calm there. Anyway, I don't want this to get too out of context, so I'm just going to say goodbye. What happens when you live in a small town? You just run into your neighbours all the time. As I said before, I don't want this to come out too out of context, and I hope people know where I'm coming from with this conversation. Remember, these are just musings on the way to and from the gym. It's coming straight out of my head, so that I might actually look back on this and think, oh, did I say something there that didn't quite make sense, or could be taken out of context? So just be aware of that when you are watching my walk and talks. It's literally just streams of consciousness when I'm walking. That's why we call it walk and talk. I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks for watching. If you're liking my walk and talks, you can give me a thumbs up. You can chat to me in the comments. You can subscribe to me if you're not already. So I've been Debbie. I'll see you next Wednesday.